The man stepped on a landmine but felt nothing at all. He turned around. His teammate, standing right behind him, immediately stepped forward with his left foot, intending to rush over and help. But with a sudden click, it seemed like he had also stepped on a landmine. For a moment, the man stood frozen in place, unable to move. The metal plate under his foot made him feel terrified, and his whole body began to tremble uncontrollably. The sudden disaster left him completely at a loss. Just then, a scream jolted the man back to reality. He realized that his comrade's lower legs had been blown off. The situation was extremely critical. The man took a deep breath, forcing himself to stay calm and guiding his now hysterical comrade. To save his comrade, the man prepared to lift his left foot, planning to take a gamble and jump over to help with the bandaging. But his comrade didn't want him to risk his life for him. He resolutely pulled out his pistol and fired it. The man was devastated and let out a desperate scream, but his instinct for self-preservation kept him from making any sudden moves. He could only helplessly roar in place. After a long while, he managed to compose himself, deciding to honor his comrade's last wish and fight to survive. But surviving in the desert after stepping on a landmine was no easy task. The man raised his hands to maintain balance, stepped back with his right leg, carefully lowered himself, and knelt on one knee. He then took out a dagger and tried to insert it into the sand from the side to pry out the landmine, but the mine was buried too deep. The knife only went in halfway before it was stopped. He sighed in frustration and had to think of another way. He took off his shoelaces and tied them to his tool belt, making them longer. He also removed his ammunition pouch. Carefully, he stood up and tried to hook the radio set a few meters away, but as soon as he tugged, he lost his balance. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and grabbed the ground. He didn't dare to breathe heavily, maintaining his balance cautiously. After a while, he slowly reeled in the rope and pulled the backpack with the radio to himself. He immediately contacted headquarters for help, but the news he received was that the rescue convoy wouldn't arrive for another 52 hours. The man was stunned. The barren desert had no food or water, and there was always the risk of enemies passing by. Being asked to stay motionless for 52 hours, he was about to ask more questions, but the radio died with a crackle. Frustrated, he took off the radio, took out some dry rations to regain his strength for the long haul, and set his watch to countdown mode. But just as he was about to take a drink, he realized his water bag was almost empty. Without water in the scorching desert, it was like a death sentence. However, the man didn't have time to despair, because a massive sandstorm was already heading his way. Do you think the man will survive this crisis?